Hi, my name is Dan Reimold. I'm a journalist professor, author, reporter, and student media advisor. Read my book, Journalism of Ideas, and check out my blog, College Media Matters. But first, stick around for my answer to the latest Dear Dan question. Some of my more loyal CMM readers know I respond to these questions randomly, just usually when they land in my email inbox. They tend to be from current student journalists, maybe a high schooler looking into journalism schools, or one of their parents, and sometimes from a fellow professor or advisor. I've answered them in the past via write-ups that are featured on the blog. I'm going to tackle this one though via video here, in part because it's a fun one. This truly caught my attention and made me think for a while. I had to brainstorm a bit on this one. The question is simply, what is your favorite student journalism story of all time? So this is a deceptively tricky question, especially for a certified college media geek like myself. I decided to impose a few parameters on the question, simply for the sake of sanity. For example, decided to keep it to the 6 years or so that I've been keeping the college media blog. So I'm not going back to any distant past and pulling out some great historic student press pieces, at least for now. I'm also leaving the work that my own students have carried out for some of the outlets that I've advised over the years, simply thinking that I don't want to have any parental pride like blinders on. So I'm sticking to pieces outside of the realm of what I've seen in production firsthand. And I also decided to steer clear of the most obvious category, the sort of long-form investigations or enterprise stories, or even breaking news feeds that in most cases would be the things that of course have won Pacemaker Awards for ACP, or would kind of be the Student Press Pulitzer Prize win pieces. There have been many of those, of course, in the last 6 years or so that I've been keeping College Media Matters, many of them worthy of true Hall of Fame status. But I wanted to go a tiny bit quirkier here, in part keeping with the spirit of just that I love kick-butt ideas. So my selection is a story that ran in the University Daily Kansan at the University of Kansas a couple of years back that highlighted an issue that was literally chapping students' asses. Stay with me with this one. The paper found that students were complaining about the fact that the school used one-ply toilet paper in all of the restrooms across campus. It's one of those interesting issues and things that we'd pass right by, utilize on a daily basis, and just kind of live our lives around and never think twice about. And by whatever means it ended up happening, the UDK gang, the Kansan gang, decided to look into this deeper and find out what was happening. Why one ply versus a softer, possibly gentler toilet paper situation for its students, faculty, and staff. They got some great quotes in the piece, including from a young man. Well, I'll just always remember this quote, that the toilet paper was just so ridiculous he wouldn't even TP a house with it. And they aligned it with an editorial that, again, the headline of that always sticks in my mind. More or less, it was, "The time is now for two-ply." And it enacted change through that article, the editorial, and then some related coverage that the outside press in the area gave to the situation. The school decided to adopt two-ply toilet paper across campus in the restroom facilities. And so you have a gentler bum-wiping experience at the University of Kansas during your time as a student there, or on your next visit there. You have the University Daily Kansan to thank. What I love about this idea and the story that they carried out, and the really impassioned with a smile editorial that they ran on it, is that it's the perfect example of how even the most common item or the most regular activity, without going into too much detail, that we might carry out on a daily basis, that we never think twice about, can be the foundation for a fantastic story. Something that will teach us a little bit, that we can follow the money on in the grandest tradition of Woodward and Bernstein, and even lead to some change. Even if it is the type of change that's not going to move mountains. I think I remember a student quote being later, after the change was enacted, Look, it wasn't my number one concern, but it's kind of nice that this change has happened, and in this case, the student press was to thank for it. So that is bottom line with the parameters I set out, at least over the last 6 years or so since I've been keeping College Media Matters, my personal favorite student press piece. All right, thanks guys for watching. Make sure to check out more on collegemediamatters.com.